Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video we're going through the Swans versus Port Adelaide game, in which I was able to catch just some snippets of it. I wasn't able to catch much, but at least I was able to, I guess, track some of the scores and see. I think I caught like the last quarter of it maybe. But yeah, so didn't catch much of it, but caught a little bit of it. So at least I'll be able to make some calls, etc. on what I saw. But yeah, in the end, a very, very tight game, and Swans just ended up running over the top of them in the last quarter, as I believe it was a 2 point game or something like that at 3/4 time. And then the Swans ended up scoring, I think, 14-1 in the last quarter to blow it out to a, well, not really blow it out, but just push it a little bit out, the scoring wise. As yeah, it was 31-29 at 3/4 time, and then it ended up being 45-30. But yeah, so anyway, let's jump into the video. And as you can see here, Dowrick was a star for Port. And as you can see, oh man, Aaron Phillips ended up, ended up outscoring Wardlaw, which is just quite funny at the end of the day. If we go down to, where is Port, here we go, Phillips here. I mean, she lost 34k, but I mean, I would have liked to have just kept her, honestly, at that point. I mean, they play North, which is going to be a tough matchup anyway next week, but yeah, would have liked to have just kept Schultz. You know, this was just a horrific game for me. But anyway, I'm sort of at that point with AFLW Fantasy where I'm just trying stuff and figuring stuff out, especially because next year we're going to hit the ground running. We're going to have a lot more research, hopefully, behind me with a lot of the girls and their positions, especially. I hope that the AFLW app is a little bit more prepared for next year, but we'll see what happens there. And hopefully we get some of the other boys on board from the men's over to the women's as well, because if we can get like a group of people doing trades together, I find that it's a lot more, you get a lot more of the random crazy ideas, like I would describe my trades on the week just gone. They don't really occur as much. You don't make those dumb decisions, and that's at least what I found in my last season of AFL Fantasy running with someone else, is that I was able to start well from the start and make sensible trades, whereas when you're doing it on your own, you can somehow sometimes get blinded a little bit. So Dowrick, Schultz, Phillips, Houghton, 1 goal, 3 for her, 60, so she did alright. Foley, O'Day, Ballard, Borg, Moles, Cuthbertson, if we look at the scores by quarter, and you can see Schultz had a -1 quarter. Again, what is that, 3 free kicks against here, just killing her score, basically, doing a -7 from free kicks. Moffat as well, 4 free kicks against as well, so she ran a -10, which got her to only a 72. I really wish that if my if Hoare or something like that had I think if we reverse these, and you'll see how close I get, Hoare, Wakefer and Everest, if we run that and we go up to the rucks and we go to Moffat here, you'll see how close I actually run. I run 93k out from that, and that 93 is basically just the free kick differential. Wakefer, she went up 29k with a 36, so I reckon the 12 points she lost there, if she gained them even with just the free kicks, a 16-point swing, that would have got me about 50 or 60k. And then you've got Hoare as well, and if we look at Hoare, I wonder if she didn't give away any free kicks, did she? No, she didn't gain any either, but she needed just another 5 or 10 points, and she would have started to gain a lot more cash. And then Everest as well, if we look at Everest, I don't know if she necessarily gave away a couple of free kicks. If we look here, didn't give away a free kick, but she was one or two marks away from really gaining a lot more cash, and that would have really gotten me up to Moffat, and that would have been me having one of the top tier rucks. But anyway, settling for, let me just input these trades at the moment, even though I just completely forgotten who it was that I actually traded for. I know it was Carius, and then the other one was a players I can afford. Let me just do that. Let me get Carius involved there, and then players I can afford. I forgot who the last player was, but it doesn't really matter too much, to be honest with you. I know that I came to this over like a couple of like searched for about 10-15 minutes to find this player. I think I'll just stick Hartle in there, and we'll see what I end up going for in the coming days. I'm sure that last play will change. I'm sure that there'll be some trying to find some ways to get some cash moved around with some players, trying to be a little bit cheeky with it, which usually won't work out, but I'm happy to make that to just go for it a little bit here with in terms of that, as I think it will be. You might as well have some fun rather than just being like I'm gonna try and pick the players that everyone ahead of me has, etc., and trying to somehow gain ranks, which is really hard at that point. So I'm going to probably go for an outlandish plan, I guess. Dowrick, Schultz, Phillips, Houghton. As we said, all these girls pretty much doesn't really matter past about the 50 or so mark in AFLW. Sort of around that 75-80 mark in the men's. And then you got Gardiner, Moffat. Gardiner 115, absolutely huge. Wish I had put the VC on her, because I mean that would have beaten out it wouldn't actually beaten out Gardiner. That's the thing. She got 117, did Gardiner, and Riddell got 118. So yeah, as you can see, the midfield did all the work this week. And let me just swap those two around, because I'm me and I like them having them in the right order. And then there we go. So yeah. Did Single go back-to-back 64s? No, 65 the week before. Then was, as we said, Moffat, 21 hit out, 17 touches, 5 marks, 0 tackles. If she gets her tackling better, she's going to be a 100 average ruckman in the future. There's no doubt about that. Chloe Malloy got on the scoreboard again, 71 points. So she's starting to kick into maybe just a little bit of gear. If we look at here, 15, 18, 14, 24, never really got going, but I think 1-4 definitely, I think next year she'll be going well. Hurley, Whelan, Hamilton as well, she kicked 2, so she's going places, but I mean, if we look at Hamilton here, if we look at the CBAs, you'll see that she doesn't really have the greatest role at all. As you can see here, sort of when Montana Ham wasn't there, she had a better role. But now that Montana Ham's back, I don't expect her role to be the greatest. McAvoy, Heads as well, did her last quarter specialist. She is a last quarter specialist if I've ever seen one. Montana Ham, 15 touches for a 53. I am waiting for her to explode next year. If we actually go to Ham and see... she's a 521k midfielder. I wonder what the games is for the girls. Is it 4 or 5? Because the men's is 10 out of 22 or 23. So that's roughly around 40-45% of the games they need to play. So I wonder if the girls is 4 or 5, because right at the moment here you can see Montana Ham's average is 36. If you go there and you take that she's going to get fully priced at the for next year, and if she goes, say there's 4 games left, say she goes and averages 50 in every single game for the rest of the year, that's another 200 points plus 109 divided by 7. 200 points plus 109 divided by 7, and she's averaging 44, and she realistically is, if you look at here, she starts to get that time on ground, as you can see, but I have a feeling she's going to be a 75 type of midfielder next year, completing off that midfield for the Swans. So I think it is very, very valuable if she does actually keep scoring some low scores, because she's going to be the hidden gem next year, I have a feeling. So I'm really intrigued to see how she goes next year, but we'll see how that works. That was Cynthia Hamilton's one. Because if we look at Montana Ham and we look at her last year, I think you'll find something very, very similar. You can see here 67, 81, 68, a 39 in here, which was a little bit low, but that was against North, and North are a great side. 72, 42, and I believe, was this her injury game? No, this was, one of them was her injury game or whatever. And yeah, you can see here 42 and 69. And you can see here the 83% with only 18% CBAs. So she does have a high correlation with scoring well with CBAs. So I hope next year we will see a midfield rollout of the Swans of Moffat, Gardiner, Malloy and Ham, as I think that is a very good midfield. But I also think that Ham is one for the future there. Smith, Privatelli, Shepherd, Kennedy, her role isn't there anymore with Ham coming back. We sort of knew that was going to happen. Cincinnati, Hamilton, Mitchell, Steen, Woodward, Tarrant, Anthony, Newman. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this game. So that's the game, the Swans versus Port Adelaide game. Another game which I believe I got my tip pretty much spot on, but we'll see that on the tips video Wednesday or Thursday or whatever. I think it's going to come out Thursday. So we'll see that on Thursday. And I guess I'll see you guys in the Brisbane Collingwood upset game review. So thanks, guys, and I'll see you guys in that video. Bye.